This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, Eli, of course, has retired. So we need to kind of start focusing on who is going to be now backing up Daniel Jones. We all hope that Daniel Jones is the real deal. We all have our fingers crossed. We've seen quarterbacks, though, come into this league, play extremely well their rookie season, play so-so year two, then kind of fall off the planet, and then either are moving on to another team or are just out of the league all in general. But you know what? We have to keep our fingers crossed that, that Daniel Jones is going to be the real deal, and he's going to progress in year two with Joe Judge, and he's going to progress with Jason Garrett. But we need to focus on now who is going to be his backup. Now, of course, Eli was his backup last year. Third string was Alex Tanney. The problem with Alex Tanney is a lot of people are like, well, we should bring him back because he knows everything, he knows the system. Well, you know what? He doesn't know Joe Judge's system. He doesn't know Jason Garrett's system. So you know what? It's an opportunity to have a fresh, clean slate and bring in some new blood that maybe we can help progress with Daniel Jones or just back him up as a true professional would. Not that Alex Tanney is not a true professional, but maybe we're looking for someone that may have more experience or maybe just be a little bit younger than Alex. So we've broke it down into three categories: the improbable, the possible, the probable. And starting with the improbable, we have Marcus Mariota. Oh, Marcus, the 2014 Heisman Trophy winner. 6'4", 215 pounds out of Oregon. First round in 2015, second overall, the whole Jameis Winston thing. He came into the league looking for the big fanfare. He had a great career at Oregon. And, he got the Heisman Trophy, so he had a great career in Oregon. He came over, and you would think that the Tennessee Titans had their quarterback of the future forever. His first season in 15, he started 12 games, 62% completions, 2,818 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Then 16, he actually started 15 games, threw over 3,400 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. It wasn't until 2017 that the wheels kind of fell off the bus. He did start 15 for 15, 3,232 yards, 13 TDs, 15 interceptions. And then 18, he regressed a little bit more. He did complete a career high 68.9% of his passes, but only had 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He's having one of those careers like I mentioned before. He's starting to progress downward. Of course, he got benched in, I think it was Game 7 this year. We all know what happened in Tennessee. So the question is going to be, he needs a fresh start. He needs a fresh look. He almost reminds me of David Carr. David Carr, of course, with the Houston Texans' first overall pick, had 5 years in Houston where he basically got the bejesus kicked at him. First year, 76 sacks, then 15, 49, 68, 41. He went over to Carolina for a season as a backup, played a little bit, and then came over to the Giants, and then for 5 years, he was 4 years in the Giants, 1 year in San Francisco. Never became the starter they thought he would be, but he was a high-quality backup. And I think right now with Marcus Mariota I don't think that, I'm not saying that his career is moving in the path of David Carr, but I am saying is he needs a change of scenery, and maybe it would not hurt him to sit a year, back up Daniel Jones. He's got 5 years in the league, and he's young enough that if something does happen to Daniel, or if Daniel, starts having the sophomore slump, that he's a competent enough quarterback who knows the league that he can come in and start for the Giants. If you think about it, his record is he threw for 76 touchdowns and only 44 interceptions. 62% completion rate, not that great, but you know what? It's, we're not looking for him as a long-term solution. We're looking for him as a solution that if Daniel Jones, hits the skids for a little bit or gets hurt, that we have an opportunity to turn around and have a quarterback who can come in, play well, and keep the offensive moving. Now, again, like I said, he might be a 1 or 2 year rental, but maybe it's just going to take that year to, screw his head back on straight and, and then turn around and, come back another year with another team, and try to compete for a starting job. Now, there will be a number of teams that are going to be after him. So that's why he's the improbable. He, to me, would be a great pickup for Jones. But like I said, he is the improbable. Now, what I call now as the possible is Case Keenum. Case Keenum, 6'1", 215 pounds, an undrafted free agent out of Houston, has played for the Texans, the Rams, the Texans, the Rams again, the Vikings, the Broncos, and the Redskins. He's a little bit on the short side. He does have a good arm. He is a professional. He has been in the league long enough to know how to play the game. He had that one really good year in Minnesota where he went for 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions only. He does have a career passing percentage of 62.4%. He went through the whole fiasco last year in Washington with Dwayne Haskins, and he still threw for 1,700 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. I think he's coming down to the point in his career now where he knows that he is a backup. He knows that he is probably more than likely not going to get another starting chance. I mean, he had a starting chance in Houston. He had a starting chance in St. Louis. He had a starting chance with the Rams. He's was it St. Louis? It's still the Rams, but then the Los Angeles Rams. He has, so he's had a starting chance with Minnesota. He's had a starting chance with Denver. He's had a starting chance with Washington. So it's one of those situations where he's had his chance, he's had his opportunities, and he's probably not going to get another chance or another opportunity. So he's probably going to be looking for a situation where he can be a competent backup, where he may get an opportunity to play. And honestly, he's the type of professional, he's been around the league enough, he's been around some complicated systems, that I really think he can come in and help Daniel Jones, and be that calming influence in the locker room. And again, he's going to be another quarterback that's going to have a very wide range of interest as a backup because of the fact that he can come in and play in a pinch, and he's going to be competent. He reminds me a lot of Matt Moore when he was with Miami years ago. And Matt Moore, would come in, and play 4 or 5 games and play extremely well. And then everyone's like, well, why isn't he playing now? But Miami knew he was a backup. So, I think at this point in junction in his career, I think that he would fit the backup role. He would fit the mentor role for Daniel Jones. He would not be a threat because at 31 years of age, he was more than likely, like I said, he's going to be heading towards the downside of his career. Sign him to a 3-year deal and then turn around and, like I said, keep him on the team for a few years, let him back up Daniel, let him teach Daniel a little bit, like, kind of mentor him like Eli. Like I said, he does have a career touchdown interception ratio to 74-47. He did throw for over 14,000 yards with the 62.4% completion record. So he is the kind of professional that we could use and that we could use, that we could use in what we really need on the team. But my probable is going to be Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, to me, is a younger version of Alex Tanney. He is 26 years old, 6'3", 225 pounds out of Central Michigan. He's been with the Cowboys since 17. He's a wild card. He's a wild factor. He had a really good career at Central Michigan. He threw for over 3,000 yards 3 years in a row, averaged 24 touchdown passes, to only 13 interceptions. He came out not with a lot of fanfare. He was the 14th ranked quarterback prospect in the draft in 2017. So he is what he is, but we don't know exactly what he is. He's been in the league for a while now. He's been in the league for a couple of years. He had a really good preseason a couple of years ago where he was 38 completions at 51 passes for 398 yards, 6 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He knows Jason Garrett. He's going to know the Jason Garrett system. He was the second string quarterback over in Dallas, backing up Dak. And I think he's going to be the guy that he won't push Daniel Jones, but he'll be a presence in the locker room where it's almost like, Cooper's been in the league for a couple years. They could be learning together. And that's a big thing, because sometimes when you're just learning how to, learning your job, it helps to have someone to be there with you. Now, I'm not saying don't get rid of Alex Tanney. Maybe you want to bring Alex Tanney as quarterback coach, or assistant quarterback coach, I should say. But I think Cooper's also not going to come with the high price tag. I mean, he had a 3-year contract with Dallas for $1.66 million. He had the last 2 years had $500,000, $640,000. So, I mean, I think that we could bring him in on the cheap, see how he does in preseason, see how he does in training camp. And like I said, I think he would be a good option behind Jones. He would be a non-threat. Jones wouldn't have to look over his shoulder and say, hey, what's going on. He knows the Garrett system, so he can help tutor Jones with the Garrett system. I just think that he would be a good option. He would be a positive option, and he would be an option that I think he would be an upgrade over Alex Tanney. So, again, those are our 3 choices for the New York Giants backup quarterbacks. The improbable is Marcus Mariota. The possible is going to be Case Keenum. And the probable is going to be Cooper Rush. Like I said, I see Cooper Rush coming in. And, I honestly see him coming in and helping Daniel quite a bit. But like I said, we need to see what Joe Judge, what Jason Garrett thinks. And like I said, his familiarity with the Jason Garrett system is really going to be what's important for me there, and really help Daniel Jones progress into the system. Not progress as a quarterback, progress into the Jason Garrett system. So, again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And thanks for listening.